Once upon a time, in the bustling city of Lagos, there lived a woman named Amoka. She was known to her friends and neighbors as a beautiful, well-dressed, and happy woman. To everyone around, Amoka seemed like she had the perfect life. She was married to Chaik, a successful businessman. Together, they lived in a big house, drove fancy cars, and had all the money they needed. Every Sunday after church, Amoka would gather with her friends and talk about how wonderful her husband was. "Chaik is such a good man," she would say. "He treats me like a queen. He buys me the best clothes and takes me on trips." Her friends would admire her, wishing they had a husband like hers. But Amoka was hiding a painful secret. Behind the closed doors of her big house, things were very different. Chaik was not the loving husband she told everyone about. He was harsh, angry, and unkind. Every little mistake Amoka made turned into a big fight. Chaik would shout at her, sometimes he would push her, and every day he reminded her that she was nothing without him. At first, Amoka believed she could change him. She would cook his favorite meals, clean the house from morning till night, and wear the clothes he liked. But no matter how hard she tried, Chaik never appreciated her. He would come home late, sometimes drunk, and complain about everything she did. Amoka would cry herself to sleep, wondering where she went wrong. But when she met with her friends, Amoka put on a smile and acted as if everything was fine. Her friends envied her, calling her lucky. She didn't want anyone to know the truth, so she pretended. She told herself that maybe one day, Chaik would change. After all, it was her duty as a wife to stay strong, wasn't it? One day, as Amoka and her friends were sitting under a tree in front of their church, her best friend, Uche, asked Amoka, "How is Chaik doing? I see he bought you a new car." Amoka laughed and said, "Yes, my dear. He is always spoiling me. Chaik is the best husband anyone could ask for." But deep down, Amoka's heart was heavy. She remembered the night before when Chaik had come home late again. He had been angry because his business deal failed, and he blamed Amoka for bringing him bad luck. He pushed her so hard that she fell and hit her head on the floor. She spent the whole night nursing the pain, but here she was, lying to her friends about how wonderful her life was. As the weeks passed, Amoka continued to live in this false happiness. She kept up the act of being the perfect wife in public, but at home, her life was filled with tears. She thought she could hide the pain forever, but life has a way of exposing the truth when you least expect it. One Saturday, Amoka's church organized a women's conference. She was asked to speak on how to maintain a happy home. Her friends and the women in the church were excited to hear from her. "Who better to give advice on a happy marriage than Amoka?" they said. "Her husband is always so good to her." Amoka stood on the stage, looking at the faces of all the women who admired her. She held the microphone tightly, her hands trembling. She had prepared a speech full of lies about how to keep her husband happy. But as she opened her mouth to speak, something inside her snapped. Instead of the lies she planned to tell, tears began to roll down her face. The room grew silent as everyone watched her. "I can't do this," Amoka said softly. "I can't lie anymore." Her friends and the women in the church looked confused. Amoka took a deep breath and said, "I have been pretending for so long. You all think I have a perfect marriage, but the truth is, I don't. Chaik is not the man I have told you about. At home, he treats me badly. He shouts at me, insults me, and even hits me. I have been living a fake life because I didn't want anyone to know the truth. I was ashamed." The women in the audience gasped. They couldn't believe what they were hearing. Amoka continued, "I lied because I wanted to fit in. I wanted you all to think I had it all together, but I have been suffering in silence. I don't want to lie anymore. I need help." As soon as she finished speaking, Uche ran up to the stage and hugged Amoka tightly. You are not alone, my sister, Uche whispered. We will help you. Other women in the church began to come forward, sharing their own stories of pain and abuse. It turned out that Amoka wasn't the only one living a fake life. Many of the women had been hiding their own struggles, pretending to be happy because they thought they had to. From that day on, Amoka decided to stop pretending. She stopped lying about her marriage and started seeking help. She went to counseling and spoke to a pastor about her struggles. Slowly, she found the courage to stand up for herself. Chike was shocked when he found out that Amoka had told the truth about their marriage. At first, he was angry, but when he saw that she was serious about getting help, he began to reflect on his own actions. He realized that he had been wrong all along. Chike started attending counseling with Amoka, and over time, he learned how to be a better husband. It wasn't easy, but with time, their marriage improved. Amoka's decision to stop living a fake life not only saved her but also helped many other women who were suffering in silence. She became an advocate for women in difficult marriages, encouraging them to speak up and seek help instead of pretending everything was fine. The story of Amoka teaches us many lessons. One important lesson is that it's never good to live a fake life. Pretending to be happy when you are not only brings more pain in the end. It's better to speak the truth and seek help when things are not going well.